Hello, this is Umbreon Libris, and welcome to my Pokémon Legends gameplay journal. When I was playing day one, I didn't think to take notes of what was happening, so there are a few things that I want to point out that I forgot to include in my day one journal. First, the modern clothes that the player character is wearing is straight out of Sword and Shield, at least the design is. It's the luxury holiday shirt design. It's got the same brand tag and everything. It's a short sleeve t-shirt instead of a long sleeve one, so that's a little bit different, but still, it's clearly from the same universe. Second, I was very surprised that Silene explicitly ages the player. This is not something that they've done in years, I think. And I think it detracts from the player being able to immerse themselves, to be able to project themselves onto this character, because we now know the exact age. I can't pretend that they are older or younger than 15. And finally, I drowned in day one. I didn't realize that that could happen in a Pokemon game. I just accidentally walked off of this bridge, and then because there was no way for me to get out of the water, I just waited for a little bit until I passed out and woke up again on the bridge. So I guess now I know to be careful. All right, let's move on to day two. I do have notes for this part. Once again, I only got about 3 hours of gameplay in on day two, and I spent much of it exploring, completing requests, testing fall damage, but it turned out to be a pretty eventful day anyway. I met the Diamond Clan and heard about the legend of Almighty Sinnoh. I'm actually really curious how this game is going to reflect the history of Japanese colonization of Hokkaido and the integration of the native Ainu people into mainstream Japanese society. When I battled against this was only my third trainer battle, but my second trainer battle where I struggled more than I expected to. It happened with my battle against Ray as well, and I guess my Pokemon were just underperforming compared to what I expected them to. Both Ray and Mai managed to knock out a Pokemon of mine, and I didn't really have like a safe switch in any case. So having 6 Pokemon on my team ended up being really important to win those battles, and I was just surprised at how difficult those battles turned out to be. That's not usually how early Pokemon battles go. But I guess there were quite a few tough battles that I faced on day two. For example, I engaged in a 2v1 wild battle, but it's not really like a double battle. I don't get to choose who I'm going to fight, and I don't get to use 2 Pokemon at a time on my end. It's just my one Pokemon having to fight one target and then have to fight the other target, but still fielding moves from both of them. A little bit later, I found this wild Rapidash with red eyes, and I'd heard about alpha Pokemon by this stage, but I hadn't actually encountered one. So I can't say I was prepared for a level 40 Rapidash to be throwing fire blasts at me, so I pretty quickly just dodged out of the battle and just ran away quickly. So by the time I made it to Deer Track Heights and faced the Alpha Kricketune there, that actually seemed like a pretty simple, easy battle. It went pretty quickly. I was prepared. I knew which Pokemon to send out. I still took a lot more damage than I expected from a critical hit, but I managed to do a lot of damage on my end as well, and with my second Pokemon, I was able to win the battle. And that was when I met my first actually new Pokemon that I hadn't seen before.
Ooh. Wow.
The great word deer. It's a bearded Stantler. That's quite the majestic entrance, though. I feel like I did see this Stantler before. I think it's on the back cover of the game, and it might have been on the banner of Cerebi, maybe? But those were only glimpses. I hadn't really paid attention to that, so seeing it in full, seeing it up close, it's pretty cool, actually. I'm not a huge fan of Stantler. It's kind of a boring-looking Pokemon, but this version, I like it. And I'm curious why they're calling it Wordeer, like it's a new Pokemon, and maybe it is? I'm not sure. But clearly, this is a Stantler. After that, I went adventuring again, and I found another alpha Pokemon, a Parasect, and I was able to take it on in battle relatively easily. Having the 4x type advantage was really useful. But then after I defeated the Parasect, I started getting attacked by a bunch of Paras that were also around. I got poisoned. I got the red screen frame. I can't believe I nearly died to Paras. But at least when I went back to camp, I was able to earn my 2nd star. And speaking of stars, I finished the day finding a shiny Bidoof. It caught me off guard because I wasn't really paying attention to the background, so I wasn't even sure that it was shiny until I got up close and I could really tell that the color was different. So, of course, snuck up on it. It was actually dozing a little bit when I threw my Pokeball at it. And it broke out. And just as I was preparing my 2nd ball throw, it started to run away from me. As quickly as my reactions could muster, I threw a Pokemon out, engaged it in battle, and before anything could happen, it ran away. So that was definitely a little bit disappointing. Bidoof is not my favorite Pokemon, and actually when playing Pokemon Diamond, I caught a shiny Bibarel that I eventually traded away for a Carnivine because I didn't have one yet at the time. So it's not the biggest disappointment that it could have been. It definitely would have been worse if it was a more interesting Pokemon, like a Shinx, for example. But I don't know, this could have been the opportunity for me to actually enjoy using a Bidoof, and maybe not evolve it into a Bibarel because I really don't like Bibarel, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. So I don't know what the shiny rate in this game is. I have no idea if this is gonna, be a relatively common occurrence or if this is gonna be the only shiny I ever find in this game, but here's hoping that it's not, I guess. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next chapter.